name is Gage Lugo.
My name is Davis Rudd.
My name is Camden Skiles,
My name is Jackson Evans.
and this is our presentation on improving the engagement for events at the Walton College of Business.
All right, so the problem that we're facing and that we're addressing here today is that there's not enough engagement and communication within these events that the Walton College of Business is hosting, right? So there's not enough communication about the events, and there's not enough participation. There's not enough people attending, and so we want to fix that, and we want to get more people there. And to do this, we have to improve the communication and give them a reason to be there. So to give them a reason to be there, our proposal is to establish a reward system and improve the communication about said reward system, so that they understand the incentive of showing up to these events, and also improving the communication about where the events are, when the events are, and just improving that to help get people to show up and be engaged in the Walton College of Business community. And we have one underlying issue. There's a lack of engagement with the Walton College events. And so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be breaking that down into two sections. We're going to be establishing a reward system and improving the communication. So first off, I'll be covering the challenge and the opportunity of the rewards and how this connects to our organizational behavior chapters. So first off, with the problem that we have the issue that students don't view these events as personally rewarding. We see this through chapter 4 with the job satisfaction, where people aren't satisfied with their reward itself, is the terminology that the book uses, and they don't see it as a benefit, and so we need to find a way to improve that. The other issue is that there's a lack of commitment and participation in these events. This is the issue that we're trying to solve in chapters 2 and 3 with commitment and motivation, so the opportunity that we're looking to take advantage on is we can use the effective events theory that we learned about in chapter 4 to trigger a positive emotion towards these Walton College of Business events. The effective events theory, when you read about it, it talks about how a specific event triggers an emotional reaction. And so if we can trigger a positive reaction to students from these events, that'll be a good thing, and it'll boost their thought towards it, and it'll make them want to show up and be more engaged. And so by doing that, we'll establish a reward system to do this, and that'll increase the motivation with the reward, and it'll add an incentive to show up and engage.
Now, our proposed solution would be to have a recognition/reward system that would foster participation among students in the Walton College. And so in order to do this, we would have a point system that you could redeem for dining dollars, coupons, or discounts. You could also have digital certificates that would be perfect for building resumes. You could have some sort of recognition through newsletters or online articles, even game day spotlight. So taking some actionable steps to actually implement this reward system, we'd want to build a digital reward system and work with campus-wide vendors in order to implement those points, and then to actually develop some certifications with an official university stamp so that it would actually be credible on a resume, and then to partner with Arkansas News, other external news sources, and even athletic departments to really recognize those students who've went above and beyond in participation. And so how this solves the problem is that it provides tangible rewards that students are working to achieve. It is a clear motivation and a great source of satisfaction. It also there's also active engagement in these events because it directly increases the commitment so that students are working towards this actionable end result through this reward system.
For communication, challenge, and opportunity based off of the chapters that we learned in the slides, first, based off chapter 2, we learned that feedback is essential for keeping an organization functioning effectively, and that it also supports the clear communication between the university and students, allowing the students to have better experiences and also the university to learn from those experiences through the events that those students attend. And then the feedback also reduces the burden on the organizers and the attendees. Chapter 3 goes off this somewhat and emphasizes the importance of the commitment, or most importantly, the effective commitment, which then encourages students to attend the events that they want to, not because they feel obligated to, which goes into the reward system that we talked about previously. That, and also creating casual, student-friendly norms, can also strengthen their commitment and their want to actually attend these events in the first place. Chapter 3 also notes that longer commutes, such as events that might take place off campus, would also lower motivation. So offering campus-based activities would ensure accessibility and also increase the likelihood that people will actually show up and attend. Chapter 4 explains how satisfaction influences students' performance and also how they evaluate the value of actually attending these campus events. Using the value percept theory here, as you can see, we can compare what students want versus what they actually get from these events, and also how important these events were in the end to identify feedback from them and also identify areas of improvement. Lastly, Chapter 6 focuses on motivation as well, and also describes it as the force that directs and sustains effort. The effort that this says that the effort that the university and the event organizers put into the events will increase the amount of motivation and also the expectations that students have when attending. This further improves the empowerment and the reward system that we were wanting to come up with, and also further enhance engagement with campus events.
So we've got a couple different ideas that would be a good solution to this. So text messages that are sent regularly leading up to the event, day to day, making sure that students are reminded that the event's going on. Emails or text messages with an RSVP link. So if a student were to reserve a spot or sign up to go, he's more likely to decide on the day of the activity that he's going to go to it. The communication needs to be make sure that the student wants to be there. So the way the event is proposed needs to have the reward benefit or a good moral benefit for the student to show up. An app or a specific site on Blackboard where students can go and look and see all the events for the month or that week would help the student be able to figure out where he wants to go. And then opportunities for feedback after the event would be major for improving the communication, because it's not only the university telling the student what's available, but the student feeling like his opinion is valued and he has an input in how the rest of the events are going to be set up and run.
All right, so using AI with our project, what we did is we inserted our proposal into AI, and we asked us to give it pros and cons, our strengths and weaknesses of our solution. And the pros that it gave us is that they thought that our ideas were positive in the sense of it added a good incentive to make people want to show up and get there, and it also kind of eliminated what we call the I don't know excuse, or the awareness gap, where kids can use the excuse of them being unaware and not knowing that the events are going on. And it pointed out negatives such as an over-reliance on extrinsic motivation, and also the costs that come with having a reward system set up. And so overall, in conclusion with our project, we expect the positive impact of there being more participation and engagement in these events, not just because we're going to get more people there, but we want people to really want to show up to these Walton College of Business events. And we really want to make them have a good reason to show up with a positive attitude.